We got ourselves some new battle mechanics in Pokemon Amber
Hello,
episode
everyone.
9.
Welcome to episode
And I went
9.
back and checked the episode
I'm
where we
Gabe,
talked
and
about the battle
today we'll be
mechanics,
learning
and it turns
all
out
about the new
this
battle
little
gimmick of the
icon thing
region
they
and
had
exploring Route
is
5.
adaptation
Real fast, in the last episode,
attacks.
a number of your Pokemon
So combination
evolved
attacks are
after
gonna go
defeating
on.
the Dark-type head researcher, and you gained your second access code.
Yeah, I gotta do the previous thing. So yeah, the combo attack's the one I was hoping would win. 1. Shame for the other 2 mechanics, but you know, sometimes it's like, maybe they'll be picked up in another
As you ready
series, you know?
yourself to leave Camp Niffer, you are stopped by a young fellow researcher. Now, I know I said we wouldn't be drawing any more characters, but I had to
lied.
make an exception here. This character will introduce us to the new mechanic for the region, along with fixing an oversight from earlier in the region.
No Jeff
When I
Goldblum.
made the player characters, Ellie and Grant, I initially wanted to add a third, non-binary option, but I was unsure about what Jurassic Park character to adapt. Obviously, I passed over that idea then, but now we're revisiting it. And the more I thought about it, the more that Ian Malcolm actually would be a good basis for a non-binary
Have you
character.
seen his
So
chest?
we'll be retroactively saying that Mal here is a third potential character.
Whatever.
One of the 2 trainers that you don't pick becomes your rival, like Grant is, and the other introduces
Have
you
you
to
seen
new
his
battle
pose
mechanics
while
in
on the
region.
truck?
And since I wanted to introduce the mechanic in the Dark-type Camp Niffer, Ian Malcolm's look works particularly well. Also, you'll have to excuse the
Then
lack
again, I
of
guess it's
voice
better
acting
that
for
it's-
Mal, as this was a very last-minute addition.
I imagine.
As you reach the gate,
I guess it's
Mal
better
steps in
that
front
you
of
make
you.
it based
They
off a hot
compliment
guy.
you
Usually
on
when
beating
they
your
like
second
video
head
games
researcher,
like that and make
but
a
warn you
non-binary
that
character,
battles
they
will
look
only
ugly
get
as
tougher
sin,
from
which is
here
like,
on out.
is this what you think a
They
non-binary
ask
person
if
looks
you
like?
are utilizing adaption attacks yet. Adaption attacks? What could those possibly be? Yes, but it seems that Professor Ginkgo forgot to mention this new battle option. Mel challenges you to a battle so that they can demonstrate how the ancient Pokemon of the Palean region are able to harness primal infinity energy and infuse their attacks with multiple types. They throw out a Resonettle of their own, and they
Okay.
explain that during a battle, when choosing an attack, you can pick the adaptation attack icon. After this, you
Ooh.
choose the infinity energy of one of your attacks to store in your Pokemon. The attack power that is stored is dependent on the move's PP. So you can actually use non-damaging status
5.
moves to prepare an adaptation attack. Here's a little chart that shows how much attack power you're storing depending on the move's PP.
So the
Mal
fewer
has their
Pokemon
Resonettle
points it
store
has,
up
the
a dark
stronger the move
And
is.
storing
That
a
makes
move like
sense.
this
That's fair.
always has priority. And for that single turn, you will get a defensive boost depending on what type you choose.
Okay.
You gain the resistances, but not the weaknesses of that type on top of your current typing. So
That's
Resonettle,
useful.
who is Bug and Rock type, would get the Dark type's resistances for 1 turn. So if you hit it with a Ghost type move, it would take half damage. Or if you hit it with a Psychic move, it would be completely immune. Again, you're only getting the type's resistances and not weaknesses. So it's
That's
not
pretty
like
useful.
Resonettle would become weaker to fighting attacks.
Yeah, right.
Mechanically, I think this is a lot more balanced than just having this hunker down turn negate a set percentage of damage. It'll
You'll still
balance
take
out
damage.
that if you choose a more defensive type, you're more likely to negate incoming damage, but have less super effective range when you attack, while an attacking type may lack the resistances you need to survive. Mal explains that after you have stored up an attack, you are not required to use the adaptation attack right away. You can choose to use another normal move, but they remind you that your defensive boost was only active for that first turn and does not persist. When you do choose the adaptation attack icon, you get to decide what second typing is to be combined with your stored attack type. Again, the amount that you're adding to the final attack is dependent on the PP of that move. For actually calculating damage, you're technically attacking with both the moves, so that their attack or special attack types can be taken into consideration. But the typing of both moves will change to whichever of the 2 will do more damage. Mal
Okay.
picks the flying type second, and their Resonettle unleashes a powerful ominous wind attack. After
Creepy.
this, they end the battle, heal up your Pokemon, and send you on your way. but we'll be sure to run into them again in the future.
Bet.
Let me know in the comments below what you think of the adaptation attack mechanics. You step out
They
onto
sound
Route
cool.
5,
I like
where the
them.
cliffs become even more
Then again, they
treacherous.
were what I
The path
passively
dips
voted
down
for, I
towards
guess. So, you know.
turbulent waters,
I
and
don't
you are
really
hit
get to
with a
complain.
cool mist. You see Ectrio, Nihilocene, and the new ice type from our last video, Penguno, hiding in the shadowy cliffs and crevices, along with a handful of Dodoi foolishly playing on cliff edges. In a
Constantly.
somewhat cool pool of water, you spot two familiar Pokemon. First off,
Oh,
we've got
Tortuga.
our little Primal Tortuga. This design was very straightforward, with two small tweaks. Firstly,
I feel like
I wanted to change the personality. I completely forgot until I reread Tortuga's Dex entries that it is an active predator.
it is.
Instead, I wanted to pull in some Finding Nemo inspiration and have our little sea
I
turtle
feel like
be
Tortuga
much
being
more
part
chill.
rock type is
It's
okay,
not
but that's
dumb,
because it's a
but
turtle, to be
ridiculously
honest.
relaxed at all times. So rounding the beak and a rotation of the eyelid was all I needed to accomplish that. The second bit was the shell. I'm adding some large pearls to soften the design overall and lay a foundation for its evolution. You let me know if you can guess
what are we
the
gonna do?
added type as I read the Dex
Caracosta.
entry. This is Primal Tortuga, the proto-turtle Pokemon. This armored Pokemon loves being tossed about by gentle waves. Primal Tortugas go with the flow attitude, give it an extremely calm
I'm going to
presence.
guess
The
Psychic.
strange
We're gonna
blue
slow
pearls
poke
on its
this.
shell can detect changing ocean currents and let the proto-turtle navigate without giving it
That's
any
gonna
thought.
become a flying
Its
type,
ability
but I'll stick
is
with Psychic
Jam,
as my main
and
guess.
that prevents other Pokemon from using explosion and self-destruct.
It blows up
And
in his
that's just
face, and
because
he'll
it's
be
so
like,
chill.
anyway,
you don't wanna explode
that's
around this
nice.
Very, very relaxed turtle. And I love the idea of it being thrown about in the waves, but it's just so relaxed that it's basically surfing.
It's a
The other
Quagsire,
Pokemon
essentially.
that you spot
Relicanth.
is a Relicanth. You examine it closely, looking for
You're not a fossil,
variations that
though.
would hint at it being a revived primal form. But alas, this seems to be just a regular Relicanth.
'Cause
It
it's-
has not changed.
Nope.
Amused, you go ahead and catch it. The narrow
I'm
cliff
okay
path
with
twists
Relicanth not
up and
changing, just
around
because
and
that's the
ends
entire
abruptly
point of it. It
at the
hasn't
mouth of a
changed in
dark
years.
cave. Before
It
you
changes,
can
you
take a step
defeat the
inside,
entire
a voice
point.
calls out from above you. The sun is in your eyes, but it seems that Professor Ginkgo is being lowered down from some
a helicopter.
Pokemon. Her feet touch the ground.
Give
and
it
the
time,
Pokemon
a
flies
helicopter
off
will be a
before you get
Pokemon.
good look at it.
Wait! I need you to stop there. I'm so glad that I was able to catch up to you. Thank goodness that Bree let me use her ride Pokemon to get here in no time. I just got word that some of those nasty Team Arc punks are up to no good in Mayo Cave. I can't let you
So we have
walk
to go and
into
stop
that.
them.
What? You think you can help? I don't know if you and your Pokemon are strong enough for a challenge like that. But if you want to prove it, you can show me what you got. Ready?
Professor Ginkgo leads with her starter Pokemon, who you are not surprised to see has also evolved.
Naturally.
She has the advantage over you, but your other Pokemon are able to counter, and she is forced to send out her second Pokemon, Rhinosi. Your flying, bug, and ice types make short work of it.
Yep.
And finally, Professor Ginkgo sends out her last Pokemon.
The new one.
Okay, let's see if we can
Omanite.
give little Omanite a bit
I
more
thought you were
of
just
an
gonna give it
attitude.
mean
It's
eyes,
based
which
off
you
a
technically
very
did, but
successful
still.
group of marine predators. So we can add the protective plate over its head to give it an intimidating
eyes.
scowl. The little tentacles held up in the air also had to go. It made it look too helpless, so this more neutral pose is better, I think. And
I
lastly,
guess.
I wanted to put some colors on that shell. Though I kept the overall smoothness and silhouette of the shell, I was able to use the color pattern to reference the kind of exaggerated ridges found on actual ammonite fossils. Overall, the design is pretty similar, but as with all of the primal forms of existing fossil Pokemon, we'll be having more fun when it evolves. Here is Primal Omanite, the spiral Pokemon. This Pokemon's 10 tentacles
Interesting
are
design.
very short but incredibly strong.
You went
It
polar
uses
opposite
them
when
to
it was
swim
more
about
red
gracefully,
and blue.
and when threatened, Primal Omanite are able to recede back into their shell and cover the opening with a protective plate.
I think I
While
prefer the
hidden in their
original
shell,
look,
they are
but
nearly
that's a
indestructible.
personal opinion.
And because
That's,
of that shell, I am
preference.
giving it the ability Sturdy, allowing it to survive
This
at 1
isn't bad or
HP
anything
when
like
it's
that,
hit
just,
at full
you know,
health.
preference.
It's a tricky little water type, but eventually you knock it out. The professor's Pokemon were tough, but no match for you. She produces potions from her bag and heals up all of your Pokemon.
Thanks.
Team Arc is up to something nefarious inside Mio Cave, but luckily Professor Ginkgo will have your help. In the next episode, that is. Thank you so much for watching, and please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts on today's episode, especially the new battle mechanics and the new Pokemon. And I'll see you in episode 10. Bye!
I'm gonna have to walk around that mountain field. It's gonna be the non-binary. Meh. Whatever. I'll just have to roll with it. That's a me problem, I guess. Anyway, the new fossil Pokemon were cool. Like, I prefer the original Omanyte design, but the Tortuga was pretty alright. I like that one. That one looked cool. And again, I can't really complain with the adaptation mechanic, considering I'm the one that won it, so you know I don't get a right to bitch. Like, and the mechanic sounds overall balanced enough. You know, like taking a turn to charge, getting that extra, defenses of the type that you choose, and just going on all assault. I imagine that battle isn't one you have to win. It's just one that you just have to, take the attack. And I guess you could win after that. It doesn't really matter. Probably something like that. Like, just like, okay, we've gone as far as we need to. We can stop here. Sort of like how in the anime, it's like, okay, you've gotten halfway through this battle, and we are done. Like, what do you mean we're done? Let's finish. Nah. We ran out of budget for that. Now let's walk and talk for 8 hours. I've asked anime more than I probably should. But yeah, I think I just kind of prefer the original Omanyte design, although that might just be because, the style and all that stuff. Plus, I just like it looking cute. I mean, it's funny. You turned a Pokemon that was supposed to be a predator and then made it cute, and then you took a Pokemon that was cute and then made it more predatory. Yeah. 180, I guess. Anyway, that's really all we got for this time. A couple new Pokemon, a new trainer, a new battle mechanic. Pretty predictive part. And now in the next part, we're going to have to do with the evil Team Arc with the Pokemon Professor on our side. Alright. That'll be something to look forward to. I wonder if we're going to get the kids in this one, because I know that they were also characters in Jurassic Park. Time will tell. I mean, they're all at least toddler trainers, because you have to be 10 years old to get a trainer's license. Then why do I keep running into toddlers with Pokemon? That always bothered me. I don't know if 10 years old was an anime thing, but it's still like, what do you mean you have Pokemon? You figure, like, if they're like 9.5, then maybe it's like, okay, fine, I can suspend my disbelief. But then Gen 5 is like, no, here's a literal preschool, and it's like, the funk? About different rules, I guess, I don't know. Anyway, yeah, predictive episode, good stuff done, and we'll do a Team Arc next time. So until then, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!